The first light breaks over the edge of the hills, and the garden breathes like something newly born. Dew clings to the branches, trembling in the hush before the day begins. Mara of Magdala moves through the mist, her sandals sinking into wet soil. Every step echoes in her chest like a heartbeat that does not belong only to her. She has come to the garden not for memory but for a voice. Days ago, the world had cracked open, flesh torn, words lost, truth buried. Yet something within her insists that the ending was not an end. At the old stone, she sees the figure waiting. The man is not the man she remembers, though his outline awakens an ache too deep to name. His skin glows with a warmth that does not wound the eyes. His eyes hold the stillness of the sea before a storm. Mara, he says, not with sound, but as if her entire being has been spoken aloud. She trembles. Teacher? He smiles, the kind of smile that unthreads sorrow. You call me what you knew. But what you knew was a shadow of what you are. The wind hushes around them. Birds pause mid-song. What am I? She whispers. You are the space between what you seek and what you see, he answers. You are the union that once breathed in Eden, the Sophia that remembers herself through the logos. What they divided, you must join. She tries to understand, but language fails. Join, how? He touches the air between them. The light bends, weaving strands of gold that shimmer like thought made visible. The masculine was clarity, the feminine was wisdom. But the world built walls between them, calling one the sun and the other the moon. They were never two lights, only one flame seen from different eyes. Mara kneels, her breath shaking. And what of us, teacher? What of the wound? The wound is the door. The suffering you carried was the price of remembrance. When you stop resisting the cut, the veil dissolves. She closes her eyes. Images arise, cross, blood, silence, stone, then light again. All of it circles back to this quiet dawn. Why me? She asks. Because you never stopped listening when the world shouted. He lifts his hand, palm open. The mark of the nail is still there, but from it flows not blood, light. It spills gently onto her fingers. She feels it entering, not burning but expanding, filling her veins with warmth. What must I do? Attempt the merge tonight, he says softly. The night does not belong to the blind. When darkness returns, sit in stillness and remember both faces of the divine within you. Let them look upon each other until they cannot tell who is seeing. Her tears fall silently into the soil. The garden glows brighter, even the stones seem to breathe. He steps backward, fading into the shimmer. Do not grieve for what departs, Mara. You are not losing me. You are remembering us. When she looks again, only the dawn remains, and a pulse of warmth where her hand had touched his light. She knows she will see him again, but not with eyes. That night, she will close them and feel the two rivers meet. The candle's flame bends in the draught, painting soft shadows on the clay walls. Mara sits cross-legged on the floor, her palms open to the dark. Outside, crickets murmur like the heartbeat of the earth. The garden's memory still hums in her veins, a quiet electricity that won't let her sleep. She is not alone. A traveler, young, uncertain, drawn by rumors of the woman who saw the risen light, has come seeking answers. His name is Iona, a scholar who once believed in certainties. He watches her silently, waiting for a sermon. Mara smiles faintly. No teachings tonight. Only remembrance. He frowns. Then how does one remember what one never knew? By ceasing to fight what is, she says. We are not asked to believe, only to become still enough to feel. She lifts the candle and sets it between them. 3 gates, she continues, guard the way to union. The first is presence. The second, non-opposition. The third, living union. Without the first, you sleep. Without the second, you war. Without the third, you only dream of peace. Iona's nods, though confusion clouds his face. Presence. I have studied meditation, breathing, the disciplines. Presence is not technique, Mara interrupts gently. It is the moment you stop trying to breathe yourself into being and realize the breath was never yours. The inhale and exhale are the same act seen from opposite sides. He looks down at his hands. And non-opposition. She leans forward. The world taught you to choose, light over dark, spirit over flesh, God over man. But when you fight the shadow, you feed it. To oppose is to give it life. Look at the candle. The flame exists only because darkness allows it. Ionas watches the wick dance, something loosening inside him. The doctrine he carried like armor begins to feel heavy. And the last gate he asks. Living union. Her voice becomes almost a whisper. When the inner masculine, your clarity, will, and reason, rests in the arms of your inner feminine, your intuition, wisdom, and yielding, then thought no longer divides what love already joined. This is not a concept, Iona's. It is an experience, quiet as dawn. He breathes slowly. I think I understand. You feel, she corrects, smiling. Understanding comes after. Mara closes her eyes. Imagine the divine not as a throne above but as a pulse within. When clarity and wisdom stop facing each other as strangers, they remember they were one current all along. That current is what you call God. Outside, thunder rolls in the distance. Iona shivers, unsure whether from awe or fear. She opens her eyes and meets his gaze. Will you walk through the gates? I don't know how. She touches his forehead lightly. Then let the not knowing be your prayer. Tonight, when you lie down, do not chase light or silence. Let both enter you. Let the 2 faces within you gaze until they dissolve. Her words settle like rain on parched soil. Ionas lowers his head. And if I fail? Mara looks toward the window, where lightning briefly outlines the distant hills. Then you will wake again. And remember a little more. Failure is simply remembering in fragments. The storm swells. The candle flickers wildly, then steadies, its flame taller, stronger. Mara smiles. There. Even the wind bows when it learns it cannot win. He watches her in silence. For the first time, the scholar feels no urge to question. Only to listen, to the storm, the heartbeat, the stillness between them. When dawn comes, he will not be the same. And neither will she. For every seeker she teaches, she hears her own words echo back, refining the mystery. Somewhere beyond sight, 2 unseen lights are already leaning toward each other. Night settles again, but it feels unlike any other. The moon hangs low, swollen and gold, as if watching. Mara sits by the window of her small dwelling, her breath slow, her eyes half closed. The silence hums with a density she cannot name. In the courtyard below, Ionas lies awake. He had tried to follow her instructions, to feel rather than think, but his mind keeps grasping at images: sun, cross, words of scripture, each dissolving before it can bring comfort. Finally, exhaustion carries him inward, not into sleep, but into the still place between thoughts. There, in the field of darkness, he sees her. Not the woman of flesh but a shimmer of light, fluid and whole. She extends her hand, no sound, no doctrine, just recognition. He feels his breath align with hers, as though two instruments tuned to one unseen frequency. Then it happens, quietly, naturally, the merging he never believed possible. Thought loses its edges, awareness expands until there is no heat left to witness. There is only a single current moving through every heartbeat, every blade of grass, every forgotten prayer. From the window above, Mara feels it too. Her chest warms, the same pulse she once felt in the garden. She smiles through tears. The union has begun, not in temples or sermons, but in ordinary hearts that dare to be still. Morning finds them both changed. Iona's rises with eyes clear, unguarded. He walks into the courtyard where Mara tends to a small olive tree. "It happened," he says simply. She nods. "Then let it live." He tilts his head. "Live? Union isn't an end," she replies. "It breathes through every act, speaking, eating, forgiving, seeing. The moment you make it holy, you've made it distant. Keep it close, keep it human." They share breakfast in silence, and the silence itself feels full. Birds move through the branches as if following the rhythm of some deeper song. Mara stands and looks east. "He told me once," she murmurs, "that the world will forget this. They'll build walls around mystery and call it doctrine. But the seed can't die. It will bloom wherever one soul dares to see itself as both." Iona's bows slightly. "Then let it bloom in me." She smiles. "And in those who hear you." That afternoon, Iona's departs toward the coast. He carries no scriptures, only the warmth in his chest, the living union. He will speak to fishermen, mothers, and travelers, not with authority but with presence. Some will laugh. Others will listen and find themselves quietly altered. Mara remains in the hills. At dusk, she lights a lamp and writes on a scrap of parchment. There is no distance between heaven and earth, only the thought that made them two. She folds it and leaves it beneath the olive tree. The wind takes it, scattering the words into the dark. Later that night, the same pulse that joined teacher and student ripples through the world, through the river's skin, through the breath of sleepers, through the silence that binds them all. And somewhere, across centuries, the story whispers itself again. You are both the question and the answer. You are both the seeker and the found. You are the garden, the flame, the union remembered. If this story touched something quiet within you, remember, it isn't history, it's a mirror. Each moment you pause, breathe, and let thought fall away, you return to that same garden where separation first dissolved. The divine doesn't shout from beyond the stars, it murmurs through your heartbeat, through every act of tenderness, through the courage to forgive yourself for forgetting. In our time, we build temples of noise, screens, schedules, endless wanting, and wonder why we feel apart. But the sacred never left, we simply stopped looking inward. When you close your eyes tonight, let both halves of you, clarity and compassion, logic and mystery, look upon each other without judgment. Stay there until they blur. That blur is where peace begins. If you felt even a flicker of that peace while watching, help it travel further. Share this video with someone who might be searching for the same light. Subscribe to join others walking this path of remembering. Each view, Each share, each quiet breath taken in awareness keeps the ancient flame alive. Until our next journey, may your nights be gentle, and your mornings filled with the kind of silence that speaks.